I've only been playing TF2 as of the making of this video for about 51 hours, and I love it. See, TF2 is kind of an interesting game. There's a lot of excellent YouTube content about it, a lot of balance that needs to be made and already has been made, but I think the most important thing to understand about TF2 is that its age gives it value. I am very far away from having any expertise on the weapons in this game that I review. However, with most of the weapons that I review, I will base it off of an in-depth analysis of what should be happening with the weapons, what is happening with the weapons to an extent, and how well the general use of the weapon is. There might be a couple of other factors sprinkled in there, but the general idea is for me as a noob to rate these little guys with as good of accuracy as possible. Now for the controversial statement of the century. The Diamondback is better than the Ambassador. Now let's look at the comparison of the stats. The Diamondback and the Ambassador have the same damage debuff, but generally speaking, the Diamondback does more DPS along with better follow-up accuracy than the only weapon that punishes you for shooting too much. On top of this, the Diamondback gives you guaranteed critical hits for doing things a spy should be doing anyways, while the Ambassador's crits are reliant on range, or so it says. Now this is just a comparison between the Ambi and the Diamondback, but what about the other revolvers? Well, in the case of stock, I don't think that the damage debuff is actually a problem because finishing off opponents with my current experience is not difficult, even with a 15% damage pull. As for the Lalon Trange and the Enforcer, that's how you say it, right? You guys already know that the cloak mechanic is for trick stab spies.
Sorry, what I meant to say is that it was for the Saharan spy loadout and also is supposed to be used with the cloak and dagger pretty often. So it's typically more for spies who go for backstabs than actual revolver kills. Also, can we take a moment to realize that my speaking in this video is not particularly legible? Whatever. It's not like I can fix it now. See you guys.
And the Enforcer isn't really used due to it being a slightly less viable stock, as it were. Now, onto the in-game experience. The Diamondback is actually not a nuisance. It can allow you to steal some kills, start and end an engagement from behind, and help you finish off opponents. However, the crit mechanic is a very different experience in-game than on paper. For starters, when your playstyle revolves around backstabs, it would be difficult to utilize the crits to their fullest effect without dying first, because number one, the most likely scenario where you can use these crits is when you whiff a backstab, and number two, even if you did finish off with a crit, chances are you'll be caught by whoever is nearby. On occasion though, your playstyle might not always be about backstabs, and instead you try to take a more patient and team-oriented approach. Once you take down a few opponents with a backstab and sap a couple of buildings, you could frontline with the rest of the team or win a 1v1 with a lighter class without having to sneak up behind them, which is huge for Spy because it removes the barrier of space between you and your kills. Just make sure that you hit your shots. I rate this weapon an 8 out of 10.